across our community. I want to begin with a quote from JFK. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Today, as we anticipate schools opening tomorrow, it is important to remember that our children are our most important resource. They're the best investment we can make as a community. Their safety and security are paramount to a new successful school year opening up that lies ahead now during one of these most challenging times, not only for our nation and our state, for our community. Today, we are welcoming Mr. Grant Swallows, the Warren County Director of Schools, to give us some last-minute updates and words of encouragement as we send our faculty, our staff, and our students back into our schools. It is time to lift up all of those who have been tasked with the duties and responsibilities of educating our children and protecting the physical and mental health and well-being of our whole community. We welcome Mr. Swallows to the podium.
Thank you, County Executive Haley. Tomorrow, Wednesday, August the 12th, is a big day in Warren County. We are excited about an opportunity for our students to return to school. Let me say this. Our teachers, our principals, our administrators, lots of people have been working for this day for many weeks and many hours, and are anticipating the opportunity for our students to come back. We are excited about that opportunity. We hope that students are as well, and we've talked about that many times before. We've been off since March. Our students are excited about the opportunity to come back, and we are hoping to have a great school year. So here's, as County Executive Haley said, just a few last-minute updates. We are continuing to monitor. We have updated our plans regularly throughout the course of the last few weeks. I want you to know that we are taking a conservative approach to reopening schools with the hybrid model. The hybrid model means that only half our students will be in the school system on one day, while the other half is learning remotely. It is important for us to be able to do that so that we can teach our students the safety precautions, the safety screening, the distancing, the mask policy, all those different things. I believe that will give us an opportunity to be successful as we come back to the school system or come back into our school year. Families and students need to know that students with the last name A through L will report tomorrow to the traditional school building. Buses will run as normal. Students should be wearing masks on the buses that are as they're being transported to school. Once they get to school, we will have temperature checks and health screening set up. When students get out of the car, if they're a car rider, there will be staff there to take temperatures. And if a student is above 100.4, then the conversation will take place with the parent saying that the temperature is above that threshold and that they should not be in school that day. We'll work through those things as we go throughout the day, but that will be happening as they get out of the car and off the school bus. Once they get inside the school building, we have worked to make sure that all schools have a traffic flow so that we can emphasize distancing. Again, the importance of that. A lot of people are hearing the terms isolation and quarantine. Isolation is for 10 days for any person that has a positive COVID test. Quarantine is 14 days at home for a person that has been in close contact with a positive case. Close contact is defined as less than 6 feet for more than 10 minutes. So we are working extremely hard to make sure that we can keep our students and our staff away from close contact so that we can avoid positive cases as well as quarantine. We will have some bumps in the road with this. We are asking for your patience as we work through this, but we have worked diligently to put these plans in place. So again, I'm asking this week that students, most of all, come ready tomorrow to work with us. Make sure that our masks are on. Make sure that we follow our distancing protocols. Make sure that we listen to our teachers and to our administrators as we go back to the school year. With all of that said, we want to be safe in what we do, but we are so excited. We are thrilled for the opportunity to get our students back to a normal routine in the school building and have the opportunity to teach them, to feed them, to give them experiences that they long for. And we're so excited about that opportunity for that. Along with that, we do have more than 1,000 students that will be learning through our virtual instruction program that will also begin tomorrow. I do want the citizens of Warren County to know that was available, and we have several families and students that have taken advantage of that. We do want you to know that we are, with the number of students that signed up for that, we are working through the process of communicating with everyone. Some of the people have been frustrated with not getting some information. Please bear with us. We are doing the best we can to try to communicate with that many people and to set that up. You should have received an email if you signed up for that program over the course of the last few days. If you've not done that, I would ask you to contact me at the central office or the VIP program, and we will try to get that taken care of. Understand that tomorrow in the VIP program, we will simply be corresponding via email and trying to set up an orientation of sorts, whether it be online or some details will be coming from the school that's handling that. But please be patient with us as we transition your student into the VIP program as well. Those are the updates that I have. Please know that we are going to continue to monitor and adjust our plan as we go forward. Please be patient with us. We are excited about having your student back and having a great school year in 2020 and 2021. Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership, Mr. Swallows, during these trying times. It's time for every resident of Warren County to do the right thing so we can keep our schools open and accomplish our mission as a school system. Not only do we have Warren County school systems opening this fall, but our state universities and colleges are also faced with similar challenges as the new year begins. Today, we're also pleased to welcome to the broadcast Dr. Michael Torrence, president of Motlow State Community College, to the broadcast. Dr. Torrence was named president of Motlow in May of 2018. He's an undergraduate and graduate of South Dakota University, where he has degrees in English. He has a PhD in philosophy from Tennessee Tech University. He also served as a senior airman in the U.S. Air Force. So today we welcome Dr. Michael Torrence to the BLTV broadcast to give us some updates on the opening of Motlow State Community College here in McMinnville. Dr. Torrence, welcome.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me on. We're happy to share this morning with our community about what's happening and what we've been planning.
So if you'll give us a little update on how Motlow is going to play out this year and about the virtual learning programs that you have in place and the online instruction for the students here at the McMinnville campus.
Sure. So I'll start off by saying that our community in Warren County, specifically in McMinnville and throughout the county, have been very, very supportive and patient with us over the last several months as our students transition from on-ground to online, and in some instances more remote learning than online, but we were able to get through the spring semester, and we've had, I think, 2 or 3 graduations actually since May to celebrate students and their accomplishments. What we planned on doing for this coming fall is we are close to a 75-25 split, and reason being, for those who are listening, to have a 75-25 split. 75% is either remote, online, or hybrid, and the 25%, people don't know some little-known loopholes that are necessary for veterans, for example, where veterans require to have one course, at least one course on ground, to be eligible for their benefits. So we're going to make sure that we provide access to those gen ed courses as necessary in McMinnville, as well as a hybrid or completely online option for students to take advantage of. Additionally, our teaching, learning, and training, which is our focus, student success and workforce development, will continue to be honored. And at McMinnville specifically, the ARTC, Automation Robotics Training Center, will also be providing workforce development and training and skills development training. We want to open this up to some of our partner institutions, such as Tennessee Tech, Middle Tennessee State University, Tennessee State, as well as Austin Peay, as well as our members of the business and industry community that use robotics and automation in their in their facilities. We've also taken advantage of this time as we've all been in crisis, and COVID-19 has brought in not a new way, but it's highlighted a way for higher education to accelerate and prepare itself for its next iteration. And this next iteration causes for all those who instruct to be prepared on ground as well as online to have course shells available for students to take advantage of their learning, sometimes in a way to say anytime and on demand, where they can have access to content. So our faculty have all been trained, and we've utilized open educational resources, or OER, to provide cost-prohibitive access for students. That way we have some information already baked into our courses, and it'll alleviate some of the costs that students would usually incur. So we're really excited about the training that the faculty took part of in June and July. Additionally, I can't speak without talking about the importance of health, safety, and wellness. And when we talk about health, safety, and wellness, I'm also talking about mental health. For the last several months, not only our employees, but our students have dealt with and continue to deal with, and we will continue to deal with, where we are currently in our social climate, as well as the wellness of everyone who are trying to move forward in their own teaching, learning, or training slots. So we put in the appropriate PPE for students, faculty, staff, admin, and in the instances where we may have third-party vendors come to our campus, we've made sure we've made our environment safe for entrance and access, and we put in safety protocols when someone may come in that has been exposed, or if we were to have a case where someone did come down with COVID, we have the appropriate CDC and Tennessee Department of Health protocols in place. I think that's important to note. So social distancing, washing hands, wearing masks, these are non-negotiable to come to campus. We want to make sure that we are doing our best as individuals to keep others safe. Even if we have differences of opinion about wearing such PPE, it is important that when we come to campus and we're in the presence of others, that we're putting them in the best possible situation to go back to their homes where they may have those who are at high risk. We want to keep them at a very low risk if they're going to attend our institution and get what they need. So that's what we have in place. The last part is we've put in place some things for dual enrollment. We'll still continue to honor and support Warren County High School 11th and 12th graders and some 10th graders if they're prepared to take advantage of dual enrollment. We'll continue to honor that, and we put in place the appropriate safety protocols and awareness training for our faculty. The last part that I'll mention, sir, is the importance of making sure that we share this information with our students, as well as the parents, but specifically the students who could be from the ages of 15 to 80 that may be coming to campus or taking courses, that we will have in place mental health access to services that can support people who may feel that they need them. So all they need to do is ask, and we can point everyone in the right direction, either with our on-campus services or if they need third-party services. So that's what we have prepared, and we're ready to go. In terms of, no one really asked, so do you think this will continue, and how will higher education be different? I think that Motlow State Community College, as well as others in the state of Tennessee, are prepared to provide the support, training, and teaching learning environments that are necessary for us to continue to be economically sound, as well as train the next generation of workforce that is needed today. So we're prepared and we're ready to go.
Any closing words, Dr. Torrence, as we kind of lift up our community and start this new academic year? We want to thank you, of course, for your leadership and for your teamwork and effort to try to keep Motlow committed to educating the next generation of workers and employees across this community, across this state and nation. So Motlow has been a great team player. Your community involvement has been very much a part of our successful variables that we have figured into our formula for the next step in the future of Warren County. So any parting words, any words of encouragement?
Well, absolutely. I wouldn't leave it with the opportunity to say something on the table. I want to welcome Grant Swallows, the new director of schools, to to Warren County. He has big shoes to fill, and not only do I expect for him to fill them, but I also expect for him to walk in his own path. So I'm very thankful that he was chosen, and I look forward to working with him to continue to push forward for the county, as well as its residents and students. In terms of uplifting the community, I want our community to know that you're not alone, you're not by yourself. We are here as a hub, not the hub, but a hub within Warren County and McMinnville specifically to assist, support, and in some instances, we are often waiting for the ask. We don't know what we don't know, and we are ready to respond in kind if there's an opportunity for us to support our K-12 systems and those other entities within the county that think that what we have to offer would be of need with different groups and organizations. So I can't thank the groups in the county enough, specifically BRAC, for all of the support it's shown the institution, and obviously, sir, your leadership in connecting with us and always being ready and willing to be at the table. So thank you to the IDP board as well, and all of our community partners. So let's get this done, and we can do this together and keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and good luck. And we wish Motlow the best. And as your faculty and students return, anything that we can do as a community to help support those efforts. Once again, we are a team. We are Warren strong. So thank you very much for your leadership.
Thank you for yours, sir, and have a great rest of the day.
You too as well. We've also got updates today also from the city of McMinnville, so we'll be welcoming Nolan Ming to the podium, and then we will be hearing also from Dale Humphrey as he gives us an update as CEO of River Park St. Thomas Ascension Services here in Warren County. So, Mr. Ming.
Good morning. I'm Nolan Ming, City Administrator for the City of McMinnville. At the City, we continue to heed the guidance and recommendations of our federal, state, and local public health officials. Face coverings are required for all City employees, elected officials, contractors, and citizens who enter City facilities. Anyone entering a facility is required to have their temperature taken and must answer our screening questions successfully prior to being permitted to enter. The following lobbies remain closed: both fire department lobbies, police department, public works, street aid, animal control, urban forestry, the city garage, water and sewer plants, and water maintenance. The Bell Street lobby, where water bills, taxes, and business license fees are paid, is closed to walk-ins, but a walk-up window is available to accept all payments and other transactions. Utility bills can also be paid online at our website, mcminnvilletn.gov, by drop box at 101 East Main Street, or at 202 Bell Street, or at several banks throughout McMinnville that accept utility payments. The Community Development Department lobby is also closed, but permits may be obtained over the phone, through email, or by scheduling an appointment in person as a last resort. The Wellness Center at the mall and all classes remain closed. The Gilly Pool has moved to being open on Saturdays only starting this week, with a max number of 300 at any given time. The Park Theater remains closed to public events other than city meetings and other city-related business such as municipal court. Public bathrooms, playgrounds, the skate park, tennis courts, and all ball fields remain open. Baseball and softball leagues are proceeding as planned. All public meetings will continue in person and will be broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. Tomorrow, the dog park near Pepper Branch Park opens, so that will be exciting. And work continues on the following: smoke testing of the sewer system in the Highway 70 drainage basin, which is the area just to the north of Bobby Ray Memorial Highway, or the bypass. The Civic Center, which is about 80% complete. Remodeling for the relocation of administrative staff, the community development and police department offices to City Hall and the City Hall elevator. Planning continues on the Magnus Drive extension project, the Center Street sewer repair, and resurfacing and addition of bike lanes to Morrison Street from the high school to Main Street. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact us at 931-473-1200 or message us on Facebook. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Nolan and County Executive Haley. I'm Dale Humphrey, the CEO of St. Thomas River Park Hospital. Today I thought I'd start from a worldwide perspective to get some sort of magnitude of the prevalence of COVID-19. There are over 20.1 million cases documented worldwide and 12.2 million cases recovered. Global deaths are at over 737,000, or 3.6% of the patients expiring worldwide from COVID. Almost 12.4 million cases have recovered. Nationally, the U.S. has the most cases with over 5 million cases, which is 2 million more cases over the second highest country's rate, Brazil. The U.S. also has the highest number of deaths at over 163,000, which is a 3.2% death rate. And 1.6 million U.S. cases have recovered. From a state perspective, Tennessee has almost 124,000 cases, 83,170 have recovered, and we have had 1,233 deaths. That's a 1% death rate. 83,170 Tennesseans have recovered, and as a state, we have performed over 1.7 million tests. Warren County stands at 533 cases as of yesterday, 273 recoveries, and 4 deaths, which is a 0.7% death rate. Warren County has had over 8,500 tests performed. Within St. Thomas River Park Hospital, we continue to see positive COVID-19 patients in our emergency department and clinics, and we currently have several patients admitted in our ICU and our COVID unit. We are successfully treating patients with remdesivir in our hospital and our health system. We continue to see the spread of the virus in the community from gatherings where people aren't wearing masks and practicing social distancing. Sadly, many of the people I see in public places who are not masked are those at high risk of having very poor outcome if they contract COVID-19 due to being overweight or having other medical conditions which will make it difficult for them to survive the infection. While we are constantly evolving in our knowledge and treatment of the disease, prevention is the most effective treatment available. This is not a joke or a political conspiracy. These are family members and neighbors who we put at risk by not following what we know that has been proven effective. I thank you for watching today. Please do your part for the sake of your loved ones and our community. And as always, I pray that God will bless and protect our community.
Thank you, Mr. Humphrey, for that solemn statement about the state of health across our community. We're all concerned about where this virus is going and as a community what we can do to combat and mitigate. Health is a state of complete mental and social and physical well-being, not merely just the absence of infirmity. With fatigue and stress rampant across our everyday lives, all across Warren County, it's brought out the best in some people and the worst in others. Additional challenges have been placed upon us from all directions. With this disease, the starting of school, the loss of jobs, the daily unknowns, it's placed us all in peril. It's wreaked havoc amongst the lives of what used to be a normal behavior across our community. Those lifestyles have been altered, and we have to adjust and adapt or we die. One of the big things that's facing a lot of folks, Dr. Torrence alluded to it, it's been alluded to it across the school system as well, is the mental well-being of our residents and our citizens who are under this stress and the fatigue and the everyday pressures put upon us as we meet the needs of our families and our friends and our community. Even providing services has been a challenge for both city and county governments. One of the things that has really bothered me and played heavily on my mind is the mental state not only of our children, as the stress of going back to school, but also the teachers and all of those that are in the public school system. It's not just our students, but it's their parents, it's their grandparents, it's the parents worried about daycare and childcare if the school's shut again. It's that unknown with the money's coming from Washington on hold for now, and without future income, and how you're going to pay your bills. The eviction notices are beginning, and those pressures are every day across the agencies and through my office, almost on a daily basis. Some people have become despondent. Some people have taken to Facebook and social media. Some people have just become depressed and stayed at home. Brian Harriman, who's the director of Volunteer Cheer Mental Health here in McMinnville, asked me once again to do a proclamation for September, which is National Suicide Month. And so I want to read this proclamation as a community as we face so many challenges. Whereas suicide is the most disruptive and tragic event a family and community can experience, with more than 1,100 lives lost in Tennessee each year, and an estimated 25 attempted suicides for each suicide death that is successful. Whereas suicide is the 9th leading cause of all deaths in Tennessee, the 2nd leading cause of death amongst youth, ages 10 to 24, and the 1st leading cause for children ages 10 to 17. Whereas more than 3 lives a day are lost to suicide in Tennessee, which means we lose 22 Tennesseans each week and 97 people per month. And whereas Tennessee veterans, active duty military, National Guardsmen all face a disproportionate risk compared to the general population, with more dying from suicide than from combat. And whereas public awareness of this tragic problem is the key to preventing further suffering and loss of life, and the risk for human self-destruction can be reduced through awareness, education, and treatment, as the highest risk for suicide is amongst the survivors of those who have died by suicide or those who have attempted suicide. Whereas suicide prevention has been declared a state priority by the governor, the Tennessee General Assembly has also declared that teen suicide prevention is a state priority in partnership with the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network to help implement Tennessee strategies for suicide prevention. And whereas Tennessee is a national leader in the effort to prevent suicide, being one of the first states to develop a suicide prevention and evaluation plan covering the lifespan of our citizens. Whereas the governor of Tennessee has appointed a Suicide Prevention Network Advisory Council to coordinate the implementation of the Tennessee Strategy for Suicide Prevention. And whereas the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network is a grassroots collaboration of Tennesseans and organizations working to eliminate the stigma of suicide and educate the community about the warning signs of suicide and ultimately reduce the suicide rate in our state. Whereas 2020 marks Tennessee's Suicide Prevention Network's 20th year of dedicated efforts to reach every Tennessean across every county. And whereas every member of our community should understand throughout life's struggles, we all need the occasional reminder that we are silently fighting our own internal battles. And whereas we encourage all Tennesseans to take the time to inquire as to the well-being of their family, their friends, and to genuinely convey their appreciation for their existence by any given gesture that they deem appropriate, a simple phone call, a message, a hug or a handshake, even during these pandemic times, go a long way toward helping others realize that suicide is not the answer. Therefore, I, Jimmy Haley, Warren County Executive, do hereby proclaim that September 2020 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in Warren County, and to urge all citizens to work to prevent suicide and raise awareness and tolerance around all people affected by this tragedy. And with that being said, we don't have to wait till September to heed the needs of our society and our community. Those persons in need do need to be lifted up. They do need words of encouragement. We do need to check on the elderly. We do need to sit down and talk out situations before they escalate into something that results in a tragedy. Our community has had enough tragedies over the years. This pandemic has only added another variable to this formula that we all deem necessary to combat. With all this fatigue, with all this stress, I know we can do this. Our state and county health services have programs in place, and our community partners are ready to act. It's usually just a phone call away. To share a number that was shared with me earlier today, the state suicide hotline number is 1-855-272-7471. That's 1-855-272-7471, or you can text Tennessee to 741-741. So as these numbers have grown across our nation, our state, and our county, with the number of cases in Warren County alone reaching close to numbers that are almost unfathomable for us to actually tackle and to absorb. I've reissued my state of emergency again yesterday, and my executive order on face coverings will be in effect till the end of the month and may be extended beyond that date depending upon the governor. A mandate has been proposed for the entire county. We're assessing the health numbers and will take action within the next 2 days to recommend a face mandate across our community. Until then, it is our duty and responsibility to follow the simple guidelines to keep us all safe and our schools open and our lives as normal as we possibly can. Wear the masks, the face coverings, have good personal hygiene, do social distancing. Please do not organize large group gatherings, especially when there's no ability to social distance or wear masks. When in doubt, avoid any situation that might help spread the virus. Take precaution. It's better to be proactive than reactive as a community. Some of us have not taken this very seriously over the course of the last few months. We're worn down, and once again, we're fatigued by the routine of wearing masks and doing the social distancing and the personal hygiene. I don't know how much more we can say or do, but as a team effort, as a community, this is the only way we're going to combat this disease and mitigate this virus. Until a vaccine is available, we all must do our part. There's a lot of negativity out there that's been spread across our community. I know we are better than that. I'm an optimist. I try to look for the best in our community, and I see the best out there. Instead of casting doubt on individuals who are not doing the right thing, we need to lift up all of those who are. Those community people and leaders who have stepped up and been role models, whether you're an elected official, or an agency or department head, or just someone in the community that's very well respected, and that includes preachers and teachers, business leaders. All of these play a vital role in our success. I get reports every day on people and agencies and businesses that are not following the guidelines, not doing what the governor has asked, not wearing the mask, not doing social distancing. Life is normal. Some of those I have to report to the proper agencies because that's the duty of my office. But for us as a community, instead of focusing on those people that are doing wrong, let us celebrate and lift up those people who are doing things right. Our school system is planned diligently to get kids back into school again. So let's lift them up. Let's not cast doubt on what the plan or the strategy has been. There's backup plans. If this fails once again, our accomplishment was, and our due diligence was, to try to get children back in school and educate them. If it doesn't work, and we have to go to virtual learning, then we all should support that measure in order to protect each and every child, staff member, administrator, and teacher, healthcare provider, cafeteria workers, and custodians that are across our school system who have worked for months to put these plans into place. In lifting up those businesses that are doing the right thing, we know there's some businesses that are not. We're not going to focus on those. But I would like to give a shout out to some of the businesses who have reached out to me and have cooperated, taken the Tennessee Pledge, and I've shared those names with the governor's office. Restaurants like La Casona and Jay's Restaurant and Gondola and even Waffle House right next door to BLT Studios have all gone beyond and above their duties and responsibilities to take that Tennessee Pledge. And I want to commend each and every employee and the managers and even the customers who have complied to those measures that are taken to protect the employees, protect their business interests, and also protect the customers that come in. Social media should be celebrating the success stories and those who have taken every measure seriously across our community to make it safe for everyone, the residents, the businesses, all the workers. I do want to give a shout out to all the essential workers in all areas of service across Warren County. Everyone that's in our front line of defense, that's healthcare workers, that's law enforcement, EMS, first responders, each and every one of you have put your lives in jeopardy each and every day, even when there's not a pandemic, but especially during these trying times. Whenever call you make, there's a question mark in your mind. Is this person positive? Am I going to get this disease? How's it going to affect everyone that I work with and my families? So we commend you. We lift you up. We celebrate your service to our community. Our media partners have gone the exceptional mile to keep each and every resident informed, sharing those lines of communication, giving the updates that are necessary for people to take the proper actions. We commend each and every one of you, including BLTV, for allowing this broadcast to continue. Even our postal employees, our UPS, our Amazon, our FedEx delivery people, those folks have done an exceptional job as well. We often take them for granted, but they keep our lives as normal as possible, even during these trying times. All of our government employees, from the national level to the state level, most of whom are working remotely from home, but particularly our local government employees that have tried to keep every essential service in operation even during this pandemic. It has not been easy. We've had to shut down some departments because of positive cases. That's not an easy thing to do. But if I don't have employees, I do not have services. It may be an inconvenience to some of our residents and citizens, but bear with us. Help support us, because that's the way we continue to provide all of those things that as a community we expect from our government. I do want to give a shout out also to the Election Commission. We just finished up the August 6th elections almost flawlessly. A lot of conditions were placed upon voting and the restrictions on the polling places and social distancing that had to take place in order to have this election. But we did it. We accomplished it. And each and every poll worker, every volunteer, every member of the Election Commission, and Susie Davenport and her whole staff were able to pull this off and make an election on a local level very successful. We have another one coming up in November, which will be another challenge, but I am pretty sure that Susie and her staff will be able to do it, and do it in a way that's professional, and do it in a way to protect each and every voter that wishes to cast a ballot in this national election coming up. Until then, essential services will continue across the county. I do have mask mandates for all county employees. We do allow people to come into our buildings on Tuesdays and Thursdays at admin, but you must wear the mask, you must have the temperature checks, you must sign in. We social distance within each office because I must protect my county employees, and I must protect every person that comes in that building. And so every county employee is to wear that mask. We're trying to distance people as much as possible within each office. The courthouse is on a different schedule, so please call, once again, every office that you need information for before you make that journey to one of our buildings, or to expect to enter in one of our buildings. So they will share the information that's pertinent, the information that's needed. If you need passports, you need basically a wedding that's going on, so you need a marriage license, you need your car tags, or to make tax payments. We still have drop boxes across both the admin building and the courthouse as well. Until then, testing will still go on at the health department, 9 to 11 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, to accommodate those people who may be working from 3 to 5 on Thursday. Some of the results are still slow about getting back, but we're working to fix that. And so as these numbers rise and testing continues, we will try to move through as a community the best we can to, once again, to combat and mitigate this virus. And testing is crucial and is important. If you have symptoms, if you feel ill, stay at home. You know, not everybody wants to be tested, but please don't be the silent spreader that gives it to an elderly person or to a school-aged child or to a government worker or to anyone in your family or circle of friends. As a community, we have to work together on this, and cooperation is vital for our success. That's not really much to ask of Tennessee volunteers. From those people who live in Warren County, one of the greatest communities, the Upper Cumberland Development District and the development districts across the state, just named Warren County, it's County of the Year. And so we want to remain the County of the Year. We want to set basically the level of excellence, not only in the Upper Cumberland, but across this state. So when people look to Warren County, they look at us and they smile and say, you've got it. You work together. It's a team effort. You've been successful. So we can be applauded for all the things that we have done collectively as a community. But the sooner we act responsibly, the sooner things will return to normal. It may not be next week, it may not be next month, it may be well into the next year, but we must prepare. We must be more proactive. We must take charge of our own responsibility as residents to protect each and every life in this community. We can't do it singular. We have to do it together. As a community, we have to. It's our moral responsibility to do so. A quote from Ronald Reagan kind of sums this up. There are no easy answers, but there's simple answers. But we all must have the courage to do what we know is morally right. Thank you, Warren County, for being community partners in our quest to combat this virus and to mitigate its spread. Courage does triumph over all fears. Through our determination and commitment to better the lives of others, all of this will take us to the next level. It will take us to a successful moment where we can look back and say, look what we did and look what we accomplished. But we can only do this collectively. Together we can build a better tomorrow for all of us because we are Warren strong. Thank you.